daughter of a preacher. Happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 95 years. Come on, let's hear it for Dr. King.
All right.
Happy birthday to America's great prophet. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., co-pastor of this church, who stood in the tradition of his maternal grandfather, A.D. Williams, second pastor of this church. Martin Luther King Sr., Daddy King, third pastor of this church. His clarion voice of conscience as it was informed by that tradition summons us together at a moment when there are forces at work in our country trying desperately to tear us apart. And they're trying to tear us apart because people who have no vision traffic in division.
All right, all right.
They do not
Say
know
it.
how to lead us.
Say
They're
it.
trying to divide us for their own short-term political purposes. But we've seen this movie before. We're not going for it.
All right, all right. Yes.
There are elected officials in our great country waging war against democracy itself. The great Reinhold Niebuhr said, humankind's capacity for justice makes democracy possible, and our capacity for injustice makes democracy necessary. Whether you're on the right or the left, you got to fight for the democracy.
Mm-hmm.
I say that not just as a senator, I say it as a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that democracy is the political enactment of a spiritual idea.
Mm-hmm.
The notion that each of us has within ourselves a spark of the divine. That we are a reflection of the very glory of God.
Yes.
It is the covenant that we have with one another as an American people, e pluribus unum, out of many one. With all of our differences and all of the distinctive expressions of our diverse and variegated humanity, we must stand together, e pluribus unum, out of many one. It takes a great spirit, the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr., to summon Raphael Warnock and Liz Cheney to the same pulpit at the same time.
All right. Yes. 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 Say it.
Now, I don't agree with her on most things.
That's all right.
Politically.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't, what we are facing right now is deeper than that.
Uh-huh.
3 years ago, the people of Georgia made this grand idea of our diverse and variegated humanity come alive when you sent a kid who grew up in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother, John Ossoff, a son of an immigrant mother. Both of us, inspired and informed by John Lewis, you made me Georgia's first African-American senator, made him Georgia's first Jewish senator in one fell swoop. Georgia did that.
All right, Georgia.
A state in the old Confederacy. But that was January 5th.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was feeling mighty good. I was on all the morning shows. I knew I had arrived. I was on The View talking to Whoopi Goldberg. The next day was January 6th.
Mm-hmm. Insurrection.
We witnessed the most violent assault on our nation's capital
Yes.
since the War of American citizens, not outsiders, not anybody stealing over the border. American citizens breached perimeters, stormed the building, and assaulted police officers. Broke windows and furniture outside. They built gallows with a noose and called for the hanging of the vice president. And then that ugliness metastasized
Go ahead, preacher.
into a growing cancer of voter suppression bills and laws across the body politic, starting right here in Georgia, the same state that sent its first African-American senator and its first Jewish senator to the Senate. And they did all of that in response to this grand coalition, this increasingly and wonderfully diverse humanity that stood up together to push our country closer to its ideals. And so we must stand up this year and vote like we've never voted before.
That's right.
I wish we were just having, normal conventional arguments between Democrats and Republicans, but this ain't about right and left. This is about right and wrong. It's about whether you want this election to be the last election. You better stand up and vote. Talking about your vote doesn't count. If your vote didn't count, why are folk trying so hard to keep you from
Go ahead.
Stand and use your voice. Stand up and use
Yes. Yes.
Speak up. John Lewis crossed that Edmund Pettus Bridge, face down brutality and violence. Who am I to stay home at a time like this?
That's right. Preach, preacher.
We stand where two ways meet. Between January 5th and January 6th. I choose January 5th.
I do too.
I choose the U.S. I choose us.
Yes.
All of us. I believe that a vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and our children, and our prayers are stronger when we pray together. So we must pray together. We must stand together. Stand up for workers who still can't afford health care in a state that refuses to expand Medicaid. Stand up for the children of Georgia as our state government leaders decided to turn down millions of dollars that would have provided food security
Go
for
ahead.
children in the summer. And they said, we don't need that money. I wonder who are the we they're talking about, because I know children right down the street
I
who
do
could
too.
benefit from that food and that food security. Those nutrition benefits. Stand up for workers.
Preach, preacher.
Families who need child care.
Me. Stand up. My sons. My grands. Me, a diabetic.
Stand up for the victims of America's so-called war on drugs that too often has been a war on black and brown citizens. Stand up for our Jewish sisters and brothers, still reeling in the heinous and horrific attack by Hamas on October 7th. Unbridled brutality and cruelty. Family members taken away as hostages. Rape and sexual violence used as a weapon of war. Stand up for them in the midst of this trauma, but also stand up for our Palestinian sisters and brothers who are already suffering. Stand up. We have to stand up for one another. Stand up for men. And
yes.
Stand up for women. And
yes.
For women to have control over their own bodies. We have to stand up for one another. Stand up for gay sisters and brothers. Stand up for disabled sisters and brothers. Stand up for the most marginalized members of the human family, because if we stand up for one another, freedom will have a chance. Love and human dignity will have a chance. Justice will have a chance if we stand together. If my people,
which are called by my name,
would humble themselves and and pray. Pray with their lips and pray with their legs. Seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. I will hear from heaven. I will forgive their sins, and I will heal the land.
Go ahead. Yes.